Gonna have to forgive me for this video. I'm not gonna be able to put the questions up on the screen like I usually do. My program keeps on not responding every single time I try to do it, so forgive me for that. I'll try to get it resolved in a future video, but let's do this for now. What pieces of technology do you think have hindered your life the most? Basically, if you could take away a few pieces of technology from your life, what would they be? This is a really good question, and it was one of the very first ones that I got, so I've been thinking about this one a whole lot. I have a big, huge, like, love-hate relationship with, like, cell phones. Because, like, it's a thing. I know we need it. I know it's convenient. I know smartphones are just the way of the future. I know that, like, without them, life would be a whole lot harder. But at the same time, like, like, you'll be hanging out with your friends or something like that, and people will just be texting the whole time, ignoring you. I'm sure this happens all over the country. You go over to a friend's house, or they come over to your house, or whatever like that. You're trying to play a game with them or something, and all they do is talking to somebody else the entire time. I mean, I wish that would kind of stop, because it feels kind of rude almost and impersonal, but I mean, I do it too. I mean, I'm not trying to be hypocritical here. I mean, I kind of hate that part about it. I wish that we had a little bit more human interaction, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, because I know that's the way things are nowadays, and I know it's just going to get worse, but that's something I don't really like. And another piece of technology that I find kind of useless is car alarms. Because, like, whenever you hear a car alarm going off, nobody ever thinks, oh my god, a car's being stolen. You think, somebody shut that fucking thing off. That's all you think about. It really is. Or you use it to find your car in a parking lot when you've lost it. I know I've done that. Next question. What bands have you had the most love-hate relationship with? What was the first concert you've ever went to? What albums mean the most to you? And albums that I didn't like at first but become one of my favorite albums of that year. Band I've had the most love-hate relationship with? Owl City comes to mind. Sometimes I think Owl City is sounding a little bit kind of girly and a little bit too lighthearted, but at the same time I can't get away from those catchy melodies and those bright, colorful sounds. Yeah, I mean, especially on his newest album, The Midsummer Station, that one really threw me a curve. It was like the most mainstream, cheesiest thing, most generic thing ever, but I really liked it at the same time. So it's hard to say with that. What else? I guess Weird Al Yankovic would be another one. I mean, back in the day, I used to think all of his shit was so funny. But nowadays, as I've matured and grown up a little bit, his songs don't have as much impact on me as they used to, and I don't really enjoy listening to it as much. His newest album, Apocalypse, I listened to that thing like one time, and I was like done after that. I didn't even think it was that great either. Like, especially his original songs. Usually his original songs are really good on his albums, but on his new album, it just wasn't that good. It's probably the last album I'll ever buy from him. So those two, I guess. What was the first concert you ever went to? Alan Jackson, in the mid-90s, I believe. I was probably like, I don't know, 6, 8. Used to be a good Alan Jackson fan back in the day, singing Chattahoochee and all of his old shit. His old shit was awesome. I really like Itty Bitty by him too. That's a really good song. But yeah, Alan Jackson. What albums mean the most to you? We'll go ahead and say right now, Demon Days by Gorillaz, first of all. If it wasn't for that album, I wouldn't be making videos about music. I wouldn't have made my own music. Secondly, Lullabies to Paralyze by Queens of the Stone Age. I remember throughout my childhood listening to that album a ton. I put it on my PSP when I first got one of those, when the first year of those came out. And I remember going to my brother's soccer games. I was forced to go. I didn't want to, but I would like walk around the fields with headphones and listen to Lullabies to Paralyze. That was a huge album of my childhood. Same thing with Good Charlotte's The Young and the Hopeless. This was one of the first bands that I really got into that wasn't Weird Al Yankovic when I was a kid, and this right here was actually one of the first albums that I had that wasn't Weird Al Yankovic. My parents bought it for me, trying to get me into something new, and Young and the Hopeless, Good Charlotte was kind of the first step into a whole new world, even before Gorillaz and Blur and all of my favorite bands nowadays. That's another one, Parklife by Blur. Damon Albarn's just a huge influence on me. with Gorillaz, and then I discovered Blur soon after Gorillaz. I started collecting all of their albums, and soon I did, and I fell in love with Park Life, Modern Life is Rubbish, 13. Those three are huge for me. The Great Escape, that's another huge album for me. Blur is just an amazing band. And Green Day's American Idiot, that was another huge one for me. That was one of the first albums that I could own that was explicit. My parents used to not like me listening to albums that had the fuck word in them. But even my parents fell in love with American Idiot and ended up going to see Green Day on their American Idiot tour. My Chemical Romance opened up for them. And yeah, American Idiot, that was a huge one for me. I never got into I didn't get into Green Day in the mid-90s. I mean, most people would expect me to say Dookie, but that wasn't a huge album of my childhood. I listened to International Super Hits by Green Day. I had American Idiot and International Super Hits. Those were my main Green Day songs, just those two albums. I never started collecting the albums until, hell, it wasn't too long ago, sadly, but probably about 3-4 years ago. So yeah, American Idiot by Green Day. And lastly, I'll say Linkin Park's Meteora. That was another album that I got for Christmas because I fell in love with the music video for Breaking the Habit. I saw the music video for Breaking the Habit and immediately knew that I wanted the album. And I got it for Christmas, fell in love with the entire thing, and it's been something I've been listening to ever since. So yeah, those albums right there, they mean a ton to me. I'm sure there's a few more, but those are high up there. Albums you didn't like at all at first, but they would go on to be one of your favorite albums of all time or of that year. Well, I'll go ahead and state the obvious. Modern Vampires of the City by Vampire Weekend. My review is almost infamous on this channel now because of this. But yeah, I hated that album at first listen, but now it's probably in my top 3 of this year for sure. And 13 by Blur, when I first listened to that, I thought it was really like weird. It was not catchy. I didn't enjoy the sounds I was hearing. I thought it was a waste of money. I even went and said that to myself. Back at this time I was just getting into Blur, and I had a few albums and I was just collecting, and I got 13, thought it was really strange. I only got it because you know Tender and Coffee and TV, those two songs, you wouldn't expect the album to sound like that, but like I said, now 13 is one of my favorite Blur albums ever out of their whole discography. So those two. Next question. Where do you think music is headed? That's really hard to say. I do feel like music could have a return to using real instruments, real production, all of that stuff, other than just it being totally electronically produced, making music with computers instead of instruments. I know dubstep is a huge genre, and I feel like it's one that might even grow over time. I know it was a fad for a while. I don't know if it'll go away. I don't know if it'll get bigger. But that's really hard to say, honestly. I feel like, if you think about it, what defines this generation? 50s doo-wop, the 60s flower power, Mamas and the Papas, the Beatles, bands like that, the 70s, Led Zeppelin, Sweet, bands like that, the 80s, Aha, and, 80s synth pop, the 90s, the grunge rock, Nirvana, Soundgarden. What would define the 2000s? That's hard to say. I know pop music was huge then. I don't know, the word for that. Pop music? Would that be the genre-defining sound of the 00s, the 2000s? I mean, I don't know. Some people have said that dubstep might be the defining moment of the 2010s. I mean, I have no idea, really. It could go either way. There's so many different genres of music, too, that you have to think about that. Unless rock music decides to just totally do a 180 and go straight electronic and everything just kind of bounds together, then that would be fucked up, I think. I don't think that'll ever happen. It just kind of depends on what you're into. The mainstream appeal is going to be the thing that people remember. Those, now that's what I call music CDs that come out here in the States. Those right there is like kind of like a time machine. You can like listen to those albums and see what was popular in that particular year and stuff like that. And so I don't know what to expect, you know? It's really hard to say. I'm sorry, I know that didn't make any sense. Do you like Red Hot Chili Peppers? Yeah, but I do feel like they're a little bit overrated, honestly. I mean, like, I don't know. Stadium Arcadium was awesome. Californication, that was great. By the Way, that's another really great album. Those are all great and stuff, but if I had to like choose between all of the artists that I normally talk about on this channel and Chili Peppers, I would pick the later. It's just not something that I can stand for that long. I never listened to I'm With You. I never listened to the newest Red Hot Chili Peppers album. I just didn't care. I did enjoy Rain Dance Maggie. I thought that was a pretty good song. But, I don't know. I just think they're a little overrated. Sorry. Would you buy the new Queens of the Stone Age Like Clockwork flash drive? If so, can I have the free one that comes with the purchase of one? Oh, man, I answered your question. I actually typed it out because the day that you asked me this question, I was actually watching the video presentation that they had for it on their Facebook page. I really did. I clicked buy now, went through all the steps, and got to the shipping. $20 to ship a flash drive. That makes the thing like $50 to get one of those. And I just didn't think it was worth it. I have the album. I mean, it would be cool to have an 8 gig flash drive with the Queen symbol on it, and pictures, and it's a bottle opener, which is pretty fucking awesome. I just, I don't know if I want to spend $50 for it, though. If the price goes back down, I'll probably snatch it, though, at some point. Do you like U2? No. Once again, I feel like this band is very, very overrated. I really like Vertigo and One. I really like the singles that everybody knows. But my parents actually had a copy of How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, which I listened to a whole lot back in the day. But it's never been a band that stuck with me. I just, I don't know. I just don't care about them that much. Even the singles, like It's a Beautiful Day. Maybe it's just because I've heard it so much. I just don't think they're that great. I don't see why they're one of the biggest bands in the world. I mean, like, my opinion, though. A little overrated. A little overrated, though. What bands would you recommend to get into 80s, 70s classic rock bands? I know I want to get into the genre, but I need a place to start. I would definitely recommend starting with all of the artists that I mentioned in that video. I mentioned a few there. That would be a great place to get you started. There's a shitload more than what I said in that video, but that would be a great place to get you started. Let me see if I could recommend you some songs, though. I would definitely recommend Superstition by Stevie Wonder, The Joker by Steve Miller Band, Hard-Headed Woman by Elvis Presley, Brandy by The Looking Glass, Summer Breeze by Seals and Croft, Pink Houses by John Mellencamp, Desperado by the Eagles, Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who, Happy Together by the Turtles, The Ballad of Curtis Lowe by Leonard Skinner, Slow Ride by Foghat, The Weight by The Band, Running Down a Dream by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, You Really Got Me by the Kinks, Run to You by Bryan Adams, For What It's Worth, Buffalo Springfield, Drift Away by Dobie Gray, Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits, and A Horse with No Name by America. Check those out, check out those bands, check out those songs, and let me know what you think. Do you like My Bloody Valentine, and what are your opinions on unfunny YouTubers like Ray William Johnson? My Bloody Valentine, I find them boring. I know people are like going shit crazy over that album that they dropped, but I tried to listen to their most famous album. I forget the name of it right now. I didn't see what's so great about it. Call me close-minded and say I don't know a thing about music. I don't care. But yeah, I don't like them. I don't like them. And what are my opinions on unfunny YouTubers like Ray William Johnson? I don't like Ray William Johnson. First of all, I was subscribed to him for a little while, but then I was like, you know what, this is fucking stupid, and I unsubscribed. So, yeah, he gets paid too much goddamn money for what the fuck he does. You know, stealing videos, putting them in his videos. That's essentially all he's doing, and saying stupid shit about them. But hey, you know what? There's no point in me ranting and raving about these people because you know what? They're going to get paid nonetheless. People are going to have their fans and people are not going to listen to nobody, so there's no point in saying all that stuff. I don't care about them. I like Smosh. Smosh is okay. Some of their shit has been hit and miss lately. Their newest video was dumb. That fucking Titanic thing they did a few weeks ago, that was stupid too. I've been watching their gaming channel more than anything, Smosh Games. I really like the Game Bang segment. But, you know, I kind of envy them. They get to have fun for a living. They get to make stupid videos and get paid for it and have a whole lot of attention, have people that love them send them stuff. I would love to be able to get into a position where somebody would send me shit for free just because they like me and my content. That would be awesome. And get paid for it as well. You know, get to sit around your house and, I don't know, it'd be sick. It'd be cool. I mean, I envy them for that. That's pretty neat. My videos are never going to be that popular because I don't really go with the masses. My videos are always just attuned to what I want to do and not what the general populace wants. And I think that's going to hold me back, but that's just the type of person I am, and that's what I'm going to do because I don't want to be melded into the fucking ball of people that just want to fucking follow what everybody else is doing. I'm not one that does that. I never really fall for fads. So that's just my problem, I guess. Do you like Dream Theater? Pull me under! Yes, I do, actually. What's your least favorite Green Day record besides their debut? If I had to pick one, it'd probably be Insomniac. That's the one, another one that I don't listen to a ton. I'm always more of a Nimrod guy. If I'm going to pick between those two, it's like Dookie, Nimrod, Warning, American Idiot, The Trilogy, 21st Century Breakdown. Those are my Green Day albums. Insomniac's one that I liked for a while, but I've been listening to Nimrod so much. There's another question where Nimrod's going to come up. But Insomniac, if I had to pick one, Insomniac. Which do you like better, punk or heavy metal? Punk music, easy. I'm not a huge fan of heavy metal. I think it's annoying and yeah. Have you ever heard of Tame Impala? If not, you should definitely check it out. Yeah, I've heard of them. The Needle Drop talked about their album and I went to listen to it. Really cool psychedelic rock that they got going on. I'm not in love with it though. I didn't really like the single that I heard connected to his video, so I never went and checked out the album. But I mean, if you're into that stuff, I definitely recommend it because it's really good. Kind of like Iron Butterfly, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, really fucking psychedelic. Kind of has a cool like nostalgic feel to it too. So everybody else, go listen to that. How about the island question? You're on a deserted island and you have one album you can listen to for the rest of time and space, and don't ask me how you're listening to it on the island, LOL. What album do you pick? Oh my god, it would have to be something so genre bouncing, something that could stay new and fresh constantly. Fuck. My brain wants me to say Demon Days by Gorillaz, honestly, but I feel like I would get sick of that after a while. Probably the White Album by the Beatles, because there I have 30 songs to pick from. Who's a band or artist that everyone loves, but you just can't get into, or maybe can't see the appeal for? Radiohead, Slayer. I like you said Slayer. I'm not even going to mention that because I can't get into barely any heavy metal. Like, I really liked The Hunter by Mastodon because that was one of the albums where everybody said they tuned down their sound, but I actually liked that album. I loved Curl of the Burl, songs like that. So let me think though. So I'm not even going to delve into that, but you know, Slayer, Radiohead, U2, definitely U2. James Blake. Man, this is really hard. I know there's like 1,000, but I can't think of them now. If you must choose only one album to listen to from Green Day for the rest of your life, what would it be? Don't give me bullshit 2 or 3 albums. I want only one, motherfucker. I added that part. Nimrod. Nimrod by Green Day. If I had to only listen to one album from Green Day for the rest of my life, it would be Nimrod. It's got some of the best singles on it. It's got some of the best deep cuts on it. The songs like All the Time and Uptight and Hishkira. They're so good. Nimrod. That one was surprisingly easier than you thought I was going to take it. But yeah, Nimrod. Easy. I know everybody was like, well, what about American Idiot? Okay, Holiday, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, those songs have been overplayed so damn much, if I never hear them again, then it would not hurt me that bad. How many albums do you listen to in one day? Just give me an average number. On average, it's about 2. The other day I listened to Like Clockwork by Queens of the Stone Age and Trey by Green Day. Today I listened to Vampire Weekend's first album and Boston, oddly enough. Why is your name Mr. Mooney 1235? My name is Mr. Mooney 1235 because back when I was in college, I was in college with Album Review TV, John from Album Review TV. We had to go out and interview people on the street for a project when we were in radio production class together. And there's a restaurant in downtown Winston-Salem called Mr. Mooney's Mediterranean Food. And we ended up interviewing the guy. He was outside sweeping. And he had this really distinct accent. I couldn't tell like what part of the world he was from. Hello, I am Mr. Mooney. Mr. Mooney is big juicy muffins. It's kind of a character that I created for Jonathan's skit channel, Compton 182. And the name kind of stuck. After that, when I created my YouTube channel, it was during that time when I was doing videos with Compton 182. And so I just made an account called Mr. Mooney. 1235 was just a bunch of numbers I picked for myself, honestly. What type of music person that is dead would you like to see alive now? You can name several. John Lennon. You see, John Lennon, George Harrison, bring the fucking Beatles back together. That would be amazing, man. That would be awesome. I wish they were all alive today. There's so many things like the 9/11 attacks. Like if John Lennon lived to see that, I can only imagine what an amazing song he would have wrote for that event. Because, you know, John Lennon, he loved New York when he came over here. Absolutely loved it. And if that happened in a town that he loved, I can only imagine what he would have done if he got to experience that for himself. I always wonder about that. Bob Marley, that would be another one. I really like reggae music. I don't love it, but when it comes on, I turn that shit up. I actually have Legends by Bob Marley, a famous album of his. He's pretty much the god of reggae. It seems like there's like a ton of reggae artists, but whenever somebody mentions reggae, there is a Bob Marley song on that playlist. Guarantee it. Next question. What do you think about Alice in Chains? I think you don't like them. And why you don't like them. And what about the whole grunge scene? Sorry for bad English. That's all good. I got what you're trying to say. Yeah, Alice in Chains is alright. I mean, like, I'm not a huge grunge fan. I do not like grunge music that much. The only thing I could get into Soundgarden was like Spoon Man and, you know, the obvious fucking one. I don't really care that much about grunge music. You know, I got Nevermind by Nirvana, and I have another compilation by Nirvana. And that right there is just enough for me. I don't really care to delve any further into Nirvana's discography, you know, In Utero and Bleach. I've heard these albums, okay? It's just, I've never liked them enough to, like, buy them and stuff. You know, I don't know. I just don't care that much about grunge music. It all kind of melds together and sounds the same for me, and it's just not something I could listen to for a long time. Nevermind is, like, the only album that I feel like in the grunge category I could listen to because, you know, songs like Polly and Something in the Way, those really help with that album. Kind of breaks up the monotony a little bit and the craziness. So, yeah, just not a huge grunge fan. That's all. If you love Gorillaz, do you also like Massive Attack or any other artists that use trip-hop experimental genre? I don't even like Massive Attack. Massive Attack is way too boring for me. They're too slow, the beat stays the same too long. Their older stuff, maybe. Massive Attack's older stuff is better, in my opinion. That's for sure. I really like, talking about trip hop or whatever. Have you guys heard Pogo on YouTube? Go look up Pogo. he does he remixes movies and makes songs out of movies. His Pulp Fiction remix is really cool. So is his Toy Story remixes. Those are also really good. Definitely go check out Pogo, you guys. Amazing artists on here. Have you heard of Tool? If you have, do you think their music is good? Favorite song, etc.? I've heard of Tool. I don't like Tool. Is it possible to suck your own testicles? I think every man in this world has tried to suck their own dick at one point or another. Now, the testicles, I've never even really thought of it, honestly. Sucking on the sack. I've never even considered that. I will now, thank you. I also don't think you're really a man until you've tucked your dick in between your legs instead of in front of a full-length mirror and pretended like you're a woman. I don't think you're a man until you've done that, honestly. Can you play anything from Blur on your guitar? Tender is the night, lying by your side. Tender is the touch of someone that you love too much. Tender is the day the demons go away. Lord, I need to find someone who can heal my mind. Woo! Woo! Do you like Nirvana? Like I said before, I like Nevermind, the main album that everybody assumes. I'm a mainstream fucking Nirvana fan. I don't give a shit what you think about it. But yeah. Have you listened to Radiohead? I said they're overrated, but I do own the album OK Computer. I really like OK Computer. That album's really awesome. But I don't care about much else they've done. You know, it's Creep. That's a great song. But yeah, that's just my opinion on that. Alright, well that's all the questions for this one, so see you guys soon. Leave more questions down below. Mooney123 5. See you guys later.